going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Detroit Sports Bettors Picks and Plays Show. I am Matt Kowalis. Some of you know me from the Detroit Sports Bettors Sports Gambling Group over on Facebook and Twitter. If you are not a member of that group, go check that out now. A lot of free picks and plays going on every single day from people outside of just myself. In addition to that, some people may know me from over at SportsMemo and WagerTalk. I am officially with the SportsMemo and WagerTalk brand, and honestly have to shout out everyone who's paid attention to these videos from the beginning, paid attention to me over at Detroit Sports Bettors, whether it be the articles, the podcasts, the same game parlays, the tweets. Man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys, because it's your guys' support and your guys' following that has pushed me to a brand like WagerTalk and SportsMemo. And again, if you followed me from the beginning, you know that's what I want. I love talking about this shit with you guys. And really, all I want to do is give wins for everyone every single week. We had 63% last year in the 2021 season. I'll have to pull up the actual record, like for the start of the show, or put it right there or something. But an amazing year, and we're looking to repeat that this year. You know, with that being said, though, it will be a little different. My top picks and plays, my top 2 and 3 plays will be over at SportsMemo and WagerTalk every single week. But free picks and plays will be on this show every week, like last year. You guys know how it is. Spreads, player props, over-under, 3 to 5 picks every single week. Since it's week 1, we'll probably only have 3 this week. I like to start slow and kind of ramp it up after I get to see the teams play. But again, I am found at Moneyline Matt on Twitter. That is probably my most common spot for dropping picks and plays, same game parlays, stuff like that. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, go check me out over there. But again, with that being said, it's week 1 of the NFL season. Let's get it going. 63% last year. Let's see if we can do it again. And we're going to start with the New England Patriots traveling on the road to go against the Miami Dolphins. We're actually going to be going with the under 46.5 in this one. It was pushed up from 44 points earlier in the preseason. And I really like this under, and a lot of it has to do with the New England Patriots. I think the New England Patriots this year are going to be an under team throughout the season. You know, they don't have many weapons on offense. Their starting receiving core is Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers, and Kendrick Bourne. I think they're going to be coming out in a lot of 2 tight end sets with Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, because they have very good running backs. They have Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. They have a solid offensive line. And personally, I think Mac Jones is going to take a step back in the 2022 season. So they're going to have to rely on their running backs and their play action attack a lot more going forward. Now, when you look at the other side of the football, you know, Bill Belichick is the head coach. He's probably the best head coach in all of football, one of the better minds in all of football, and he runs that defense. That defense is going to be good every single year. They're always going to have a good game plan, and I expect the same for this game. Yes, they lost J.C. Jackson, but once again, Bill Belichick is really good at developing corners. Think of all the great corners that have come out of New England over the years. So I think they're going to fill that gap. I think they're going to be stout as usual, and that might be part of the reason that New England offense looked so bad in the preseason, or you got so much negative news coming out of camp. It could be because that New England defense is just that good. Now, when looking at Miami, the reason that I think this spike from 44 all the way to 47, and now it's at 46.5, is because of that addition of Tyreek Hill. It's sexy. It's over the top. It's speed. You know what I mean? It's points. You know, you saw him over at Kansas City, and some people who probably don't know football that well are thinking he's going to come over and do the exact same. Do I think Tyreek is still going to be good? Of course. But I don't think he's going to replicate what he did in Kansas City. You know, I do like Tua. I like Tua more than probably the average person. But, you know, he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's very accurate. He's very good at in cuts. He's very good at when receivers set down in holes, in zones. But beating people over the top, I'm not sure. You got to show me. You got to show me. And again, Bill Belichick, defensive coordinator, I think he's going to keep everything in front of him, just like what we saw last night with the Buffalo Bills and the LA Rams. You know, the Buffalo Bills kept everything in front of them. And I will say I had Bills minus 2.5, 1-0. Yeah, on Sports Memo. Let's go. But again, they kept everything in front of them, and I think the New England Patriots are going to do the same exact thing here. You know, again, Bill Belichick, one of the better defensive minds in all of football, and I think they're going to force them to a lot of zones, settle it down, keep it in front, force Chase Edmonds maybe to run a little bit. And I expect this to be a lower scoring outing. It's also in Miami. It's going to be hot as hell. People could get tired. It could get a little sloppy. And that often turns to unders. When looking at the Miami Dolphins in 2021, they were 2-4 within the division for over-unders, hitting the unders at a 66% rate. And then New England Patriots hit the unders within the division at a 45% rate. Again, I think New England takes a step back, so that means they're more prone to hitting the under here. So again, give me the under for the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots at 46.5. Now, moving on to the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints come into this game at -5.5, and that's exactly where I'm going to go on this one. We're going to start with Atlanta here, okay? When breaking down this Atlanta Falcons offense, you have to start with the offensive line or the quarterback, and they have one of the worst offensive lines in all of football. They're absolutely brutal. They can't run the football at all with Cordarrelle Patterson. I'm sorry, I like Cordarrelle Patterson, but anytime a receiver comes in to play running back, that's just not a good sign. I don't care what team you are. Now, in addition to that, the quarterback now is Marcus Mariota, and behind him is Desmond Ridder. Marcus Mariota has been a journeyman throughout his entire career. He's been known to make mistakes. He's been known to try and leave the pocket faster than he should, to use his legs, because he is a good run-style quarterback. But, they're going against a New Orleans Saints defense who is incredibly stout. They're probably going to be top 5 again. With Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, Marshawn Lattimore, Cameron Jordan. They are stout every single year. And when you look at this Atlanta Falcons offense one more time, Drake London, who they picked out of UFC, their first-round pick, he might miss this game due to injury. So then everything once again comes down to Kyle Pitts. It's far easier when you can center in on literally one weapon. So I think this Atlanta Falcons team is really going to struggle to move the football here. And because of that, again, that's one reason I'm siding with the -5.5. And then you look at the New Orleans Saints offense. They're completely different, completely revamped. Michael Thomas comes back from injury. They drafted Chris Olave out of Ohio State, and they brought in Jarvis Landry to run that slot. In addition to that, Alvin Kamara is still holding down that backfield. He won't be suspended till probably next year. And then now Jameis Winston is back as well with his ACL injury. So in reality, all of this does come down to Jameis Winston, but I think Jameis Winston can do it. I honestly think he's a quality quarterback, and he needs to let these training wheels need to come off a little bit. And I think a new head coach in Dennis Allen might just do that. Okay, and obviously additional weapons like Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry, Alvin Kamara. That really helps to get a quarterback going when you have people who are going to get open. So again, I think this is a revamped offense. The Atlanta Falcons defense is pretty pitiful. They're just as bad as that offense, and their only strength might be the secondary with A.J. Terrell. A.J. Terrell's a good young corner. But other than that, they have one of the worst defensive lines in all of football, one of the worst linebacking cores in all of football. So again, I think this New Orleans Saints team is just far better. The New Orleans Saints also brought in pieces for their offensive line and are ranked around top 10 going into the NFL season. So again, this New Orleans Saints team is just way, way better than this Atlanta Falcons team. I actually think this Atlanta Falcons team gets 3 or 4 wins this year. So give me the Saints at -5.5, week 1 of the NFL season. Moving on now to the last pick of the day. I usually start a little slower in week 1 just to kind of get a feel, see how everything develops. But this game, I do like this game, and this one is the Minnesota Vikings against the Green Bay Packers. And I personally see an edge with the Minnesota Vikings at +2, so that's where I'm going in this one. Starting with that Minnesota Vikings offense, they have a new head coach in Kevin O'Connell who came over from the LA Rams. He was the coach who helped to orchestrate the connection between Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, and again, helped to lead them to a Super Bowl. Now, people are thinking he's going to come over and develop that connection between Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. And I don't see why not. This Minnesota Vikings team has a ton of weapons. They have Adam Thielen. They have Osborne. They have Irv Smith at tight end, a very, very quality tight end. You got to remember, Tyler Conklin was pretty solid for them. They let him walk. And Irv Smith is coming off, I believe it was an ACL injury, something along those lines. It was a serious injury, but he is a very good receiving style tight end. He's a great mismatch against linebackers and safeties. So I think he's going to be another weapon for Kirk Cousins in the 2022 season. Then in addition to that, you gotta remember Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is one of the better running backs in all of football. He's good in the screen game. He's good, and he's a very well-rounded back, just all around. Alexander Mattison, probably the best backup in all of football too, in case something does happen to Dalvin Cook. So I really do like this Minnesota Vikings offense to take that step forward in 2022 and become one of the more potent offenses in all of football. And me personally, I hear people raving about this Green Bay defense, and I think they're a little overrated. I really do. I don't think this is a top 5 defense personally. We'll see, though. They have to prove me wrong. So I think the Minnesota Vikings offense can move the football pretty well against this Green Bay defense. And then now we look at the Green Bay offense. You know, they let Davante Adams go. This is a team that was at 11.5 wins this preseason. They're down to 10.5. I like the under there because when you lose someone like Davante Adams, I think some wins go out the window as well. Unless someone like Alan Lazard or Romeo Dubes, just like if that's how you say Dubes, Dobbs, whatever it is. If he steps up, they need someone to step up and step up big, like crazy big. So that also makes me think that they're going to rely a lot more on Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones might play a little more slot. A.J. Dillon might play a little more lead back, things like that. But when looking at this Minnesota Vikings defense, you know, they get Danielle Hunter back, who's one of the better edge rushers in football. He can apply pressure to Aaron Rodgers. You know, they brought in Zadarius Smith, who's also someone who can rush the quarterback. He's someone who shores up that linebacking core as well. And the weakness for this Minnesota Vikings team is actually their secondary. Just because if you're starting Patrick Peterson ever, that's a weakness. I'm sorry. Like, I love Patrick Peterson. He's a great veteran. At one time, he was one of the top corners throughout the NFL. But right now, because of that, I think they're going to have to rely a lot on the zone defense game. But I still think that this team is capable, the offense is capable of putting up enough points to overcome it. You know, Aaron Rodgers has a brand new receiving core. Who knows how well it's going to be? And in years past, Green Bay has come in on week 1 and they haven't played that good of football. So I'm going to continue that trend and I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings here at +2 in week 1 of the NFL season. And that's it, guys. I only got 3 picks for us this week. Next week, maybe I'll have a little more. But let's recap that one more time. We have the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins under 46.5. We have the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. We are taking the New Orleans Saints -5.5. And then we have the Green Bay Packers traveling on the road to go against the Minnesota Vikings. We are taking the Vikings at +2. Again, guys, 63% last year. Let's see what we can do this year. I greatly appreciate you checking out the Detroit Sports Bettors Picks and Plays show. Check me out at Moneyline Matt on Twitter. Again, tons of picks and plays, like crazy same-game parlays, especially once the NBA season hits. But again, guys, greatly appreciate you checking out the show. And good luck this season. Good luck in week 1. I'll see you in the Facebook group. I am Matt Kowalis from Detroit Sports Bettors, from Sports Memo, from Wager Talk, and I am out. Peace out, y'all.